And now I can do it. All right, folks, please mute yourselves. We are having a special community forum for development activities meeting. This is for a structure on Southern Avenue. It's 171 Southern. The presenter is here, and Thomas Scharf, our neighborhood planner, is here. So without any ado, I'm going to introduce Thomas, who will talk a little bit about the DAM process, and then we'll go to the presenter for this evening. So Thomas, go ahead.
Thank you. Let me, does this let me share screen really quick?
We'll do it.
All right.
You got it?
So, one second. Sorry. All right, see if that's going. Great. So as Gordon mentioned, I'm the neighborhood planner for Mount Washington and Duquesne Heights. I also represent in the kind of as the liaison for planning department, work with the neighborhoods south of most of the neighborhoods south of the Mon, west of the Ohio. Development activities meetings are, so these are an opportunity for the community to share comments and questions when development above a certain threshold happens in the neighborhood. So this falls under the Registered Community Organization Program, or the RCO program for short. So the Mount Washington CDC serves as an RCO, Registered Community Organization, which means they play a formal role in hosting the meetings when there are the developments that I was mentioning. So part of that is like identifying, does a specific development meet a threshold? There might be some developments that do not require a meeting because they are of a small enough scale or impact, whereas others that when they need to go to a public commission like Art Commission, Historic Review Commission, Planning Commission, or need certain requests in front of Zoning Board of Adjustment like a use variance, those need to go as well to a DAM through Mount Washington CDC in the case of if it falls in Mount Washington or in Duquesne Heights. This slide here shows a little more detail about the development thresholds relevant to what would trigger a DAM. So square footage, if it's a 2,400 square foot new or expanded structure, if it's 4 or more residential units that are new. Also, when there's kind of large scale developments like planned master plans or plan developments, institutional master plans, and then also when I mentioned when there's developments that need to go to public commissions. So the DAM is kind of initiating a 30-day period where after the DAM is held, there's also an opportunity for members of the public to continue to provide public comment about the development, what was shared in the DAM. So they can provide comment to Mount Washington CDC as the RCO. They could also, members of the public can also share that with the specific commission that will be receiving and hearing the application after that 30 days. So that's a little bit of background on that. In this case, after tonight's presentation, listing here, you can see kind of for next steps, what would come next. So the info@mwcdc.org is what I have from Gordon as the email address for comments that if anyone wants to share those directly with Mount Washington CDC. And then Mount Washington CDC I'll leave that to Gordon to he can share how any, to the extent if any position Mount Washington CDC takes on developments. And then there's, if you'd like to present in front of the Zoning Board of Adjustment, you can testify. So that's kind of in the case of developments that do go to the Zoning Board of Adjustment, the best way to provide that comment is through joining that meeting, and you can reach out to them, to staff with the Board of Adjustment to get on their agenda. So you can email zoningboard@pittsburghpa.gov. You can also join the Zoom meeting, use the raise hand function, request to speak. Another way is joining by phone, pressing the *9 to use the raise hand function. But in general, they recommend registering in advance by emailing that email address, so that to ensure you can get that time to speak as testimony. So I think with that, that's kind of key elements on DAM. This is just more about where you can find city planning on social networks. So I'll pass it back to Gordon here, and we have an opportunity now to listen to the applicant for the development to share kind of details about what they're planning to do, what their next steps are, and then for Q&A after that, and for community share comments.
Yes, okay, thank you for returning to the screen. Folks, if you want to, you can ask questions in chat, or you can just wait until the presentation is over and we will just open it up because there are few enough people here. Please be courteous at all times. And with that being said, Craig, would you like to begin your presentation? Although I have to check one thing. And now I'm going to share my screen. And nope, wrong one. And there we are. Okay, go ahead, Craig.
My name is Craig Lydon. I work with Nexus Real Estate. I am their property and project manager for them in Avis and our construction side, which is Avis Construction. We own the property at 171 Southern Avenue. Currently, there's 3 separate units. When we purchased this property, the 3rd unit was already finished and everything like that. When our management team started looking through things, we noticed that there's only 2 occupancy permits for the structure, being the first 2 units, and the 3rd unit did not have the occupancy permit. So our main goal here was to make sure that this the structure in this unit was legal. So when we found out that the occupancy permit wasn't there, we started reaching out to the city as well as our engineers, and that's kind of where I'm going to start off here. The first photo that we're going to look at is going to be what we're proposing is basically to put in the 2 fire escapes on this building, so that there's the 2 means of egress, so that it's safe, people are safely able to get out of the building if there were ever a fire or anything like that. I don't believe it's showing up on my end, that picture.
Can you folks see a picture?
There's one off to the side, like it's only part, like it's really small.
Okay.
Like it's only on like a.
Thanks, Jen. I'm going to do something different. And I am going to try this. Well, okay, let's try that. Is that any better?
Yes, perfect. So our first unit is our basement unit, which you see at the bottom right-hand corner. On the right side of this building, there's a set of steps that goes up to each one of the units. And like I said, the first 2 units have the number of means of egress that we were looking for, and our engineers, which is Redcon Engineering, proposed this fire escape for the 3rd unit up in the top left-hand corner. That deck would go out, and then it'd wrap around the back side of the building where the front door is. And then if we scroll down, I believe it'll show us the site plan here on this picture. So highlighted in red is the exact areas of where we're going to be, where we propose to put in these fire escapes. And then if you could see at the very bottom as well, I want to add in, as far as concerns for parking, as I know that Southern Avenue is not a really prime area for parking, and that might be a concern for the community. We do have a gravel driveway in there, and we actually just got our curb cut permit recently to be able, we're going to pave that starting this Thursday at noon. So we have the permit for that, and there's going to be able to be 3 parking spots there, which will be able to, the tenants will be able to access for the building. So the parking should not be a concern for anybody as far as that goes, if that was ever, a wonder or an issue. And then if we want to move on to our next picture, Gordon, the site plan.
Going to. Okay, you want the picture of the site plan on its own, okay?
Yeah, just if anybody had any questions on that, you can check that out real quick. Like I said, we have at the very bottom, we have that gravel driveway. If there's any issue or any questions as far as how the current unit is set up. As you can see, if you go towards the top, you can see where this back deck is, where it says deck and there's a set of stairs. Yeah, that's going to wrap, that will be intertwined with the fire escape that'll be on the right side of the building. And then it drops down and there'll be a ladder like you saw in that last picture that'll be able to drop down for in case of any type of emergencies. We can move on to the third document then now.
Yep.
All
Can you see
right.
it?
Yes. So this is just kind of give you guys an idea of everything that's going on. Our engineers have drawn up. If you just want to scroll through this, it goes into detail, obviously, of all the proposed, the proposed construction, what the current units are, their accessibility and things of that nature. Like I said, there's a set of stairs on the right side, or at the bottom, you'll see it at the bottom. These are the ones where their main means of egress are currently at this time. And we'd be adding the additional ones on the left side of the building if approved. These drawings also show the best ways to get out if there are any type of issues as well. And then we can go to those last two images I have. It's just more of a, it's a closer view of where we plan to put those fire escapes and any other details that we may have missed in any of the other drawings.
Oh, sorry. This is the picture you wanted, right, Craig?
Yeah. So this is, like I said, this just is a more close-up detail of the size of the fire escape and the exterior door. This would be in that third unit. That it's a studio unit. Like I said, we're more or less just looking to get this have the legal occupancy permit. Once we saw that we didn't have that permit, we wanted to reach out and do whatever we could to make sure that make sure we were doing the right thing with the ownership of this building, and make sure it was in good standing with the city. And then the last picture we'll show you is the other means of egress for the second unit. It's kind of, like I said, it's just a closer up picture if you're looking for the size and things of that nature to get an idea of what we're actually doing here. And that's really all I have. I'd be happy to answer any type of questions that anyone has in regards to what we do, what we're planning on doing, and everything like that.
Craig, do you want to show the engineering analysis or not?
We can. So we had submitted to the zoning board this proposal before. They gave us they had a questionnaire of responses that they needed us to answer. In which our engineers put through all their responses to every question that they had for like I said, from the zoning board. So there's probably, I want to say 17 or 18 questions that they had asked us, and our engineers had stamped off and approved with all the responses for any concerns that the city may have.
And you would consider this a typical series of questions to be asked by the zoning board?
Yes.
Okay. All right. In that case, Craig, is your presentation over?
Yes.
All right, then I'm going to read a question from the chat from Doris. How many bedrooms does each apartment have?
Okay, the basement apartment has 2 bedrooms. It's 2 bedroom, 1 bath. The second floor apartment is a 1 bedroom, 1 bath. And then the third unit that we're proposing to get that occupancy permit for is a studio apartment.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Craig?
Yes.
All right, go ahead, Jay.
I don't know if I missed this in it. So the only zoning changes you're looking to do are the fire escapes, or where's
Yes.
the? Because I was looking at the overview and I saw that the lot went back further. I didn't know if you guys were building back further.
No,
or-
so that back hillside is just mostly grass. We have a set of stairs that leads up into the parking pad, which you saw, like I said, I was displaying, and we're paving that this week and having 3 additional spots that tenants are going to be able to access and use.
Okay, so there's no trees or anything there that you're removing, or?
No, we're not going to be moving anything. Just maybe, cutting down some overgrowth, but there's no trees or anything that need to be removed or anything like that on that side of the property line.
Hey, Jay, I'm going to share a picture of the lot so you can see it better. Do you see it?
Yeah, I can see. That's what it was just hard to tell.
Okay.
I didn't know if that was just like the look now, or if it was going to project, like change at all in any way.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
just
nothing's
size
changing at all.
land size.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, like I said, nothing's changing at all. All we're literally proposing to do is put those fire escapes out there. So we have those extra means of egress.
Yeah.
So Craig, since nobody asked, what is the variance actually required for?
What do you mean? I'm sorry.
You're asking for a side yard setback?
Yeah, so there's a 5-foot setback with the city, and I believe it's the setback that we have is going to be 4.5 feet right now. So there's an extra 6 inches or so that we need the variance for.
For the fire escapes?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So from the engineers and what we understand is that the fire escapes are considered like a deck. So that's why we're looking for that variance for that.
I think
Like, if you
Craig-
guys reached out to the immediate neighbors that are going to be on that side for that variance change?
There's a vacant lot there right now.
Okay, I didn't know.
What's that?
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah, no, it's a vacant
It's
lot at this time.
vacant. Okay.
And then Craig, you guys are seeking a use variance, right, as well? Because that's like.
Yeah, changing
that's
use
really
because
clear.
we're gonna be adding the third unit.
Mhm.
But it's already there. You're just making it legal, right?
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Like I said, it's a studio apartment. So again, if we go back to I know a big thing with this is always parking. It's not like there's gonna be a bunch of people moving in. It's gonna be probably a single person because it's a very small unit.
And there'll be 3 parking spaces total for the whole building.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. And in each unit, there's only one person living in each one of the units right now. There's not multiple people living in any of them. So, and they've been long-term tenants of ours. So,
Okay, folks, I'm going to stop sharing. And I'm checking the chat to see if there are any other questions. There are none. Craig, I think you're done.
okay, perfect.
Thomas, do you have any other comments?
Oh, I was just gonna say, thank you, Craig. Thank you, everyone. And yeah, I will put shortly here, just like the email, if you would like to contact the Zoning Board of Adjustment. That's another opportunity to provide public comment past today. And yeah, kind of Craig, I understand you kind of would still be coordinating with staff to set the exact date for that ZBA
Yes.
hearing.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I was told that we have to go through this first, and then once everything's passed through this, and that's when they'll be able to schedule for the ZBA.
Thomas, is there a way that you could have that form up to send that kind of almost like make it a form or print it out to send to Gordon to post these meetings with how we can contact or how we can go through, or if anybody contacts the MWCDC and wants to know how to contact about that information? So we'd have one document with it all in there to just send out?
Yeah, that's no problem. If that, I'd be happy to send that to Gordon, and if Gordon's willing to share that, that'd be great.
Sure.
You're kind of thinking about kind of what I presented or something along
Yeah,
those
just
lines.
having that so that people, if they have questions, he can all just send it out straight out. That here's also, you can do this if you need to seek any more information. And also just, so we can always have it posted at the meetings, although I assume you're going to be at the meetings.
Sure. No, that's a great idea. Yeah, and I'm putting in the link also so you can go directly to the zoning board of adjustment page where it kind of talks about how to provide comment, and that's the email to register in advance to provide testimony. So, and then what I do is I take notes on this meeting, and then I send that to the zoning board of adjustment staff. That gets posted online. So that's also that they consider kind of the comments and questions that came through. So
Thank you.
but yeah, be happy to follow up with Gordon on kind of the email addresses for future meetings. Well, thank you. Thank you, Gordon. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, well, Craig, that was very simple. Thomas, thank you very much. And you folks can move on if you choose. We're going to go to the second part of our presentation. This is our forum, and that is a review of some of the volunteer positions that we've been seeking to fill and some that we have already filled. One of the things that we're doing now is trying to identify people, volunteers primarily, but also including work study students and interns who can do some of the work that's part of our strategic plan and part of our other activities. And I'm going to share the screen and show a list of some things that we have identified as real needs. It would be great if we could get volunteers. If we don't, we just keep on going without them. But it would be really nice if we had somebody with some skills in filing and inventory and archiving who could come to the office and do those things. Reorganization is really a great thing too. Now, we are not well set up for electronic archiving, but we're going to try to do it. And this person possibly could help us figure out a good way to do that, which actually leads to the next position, and that is a procurement manager. We don't buy a lot of stuff, but we do a lot of budgeting. We budget for each of our projects. We budget for each of our proposals. In order to budget well, you have to figure out what things cost, and that takes time. And maybe there's somebody out there who enjoys shopping on Amazon, contacting contractors, and so on. And yes, Jay, I can send you the list. So I call that a procurement manager. We have what I call legacy computers in our office. They are able to read electronic media that has been stored for decades. The machine like I'm using right now can't do that. It looks to me at a first glance that maybe we might need a new graphics card or just a monitor or a monitor connection. We might need to replace a battery. We have a screen on a laptop that we could probably replace and so on. So anybody who enjoys doing that kind of stuff, they could come into the office and do some analysis and tell us what the repairs would cost, and we'd go from there. Now, I've spoken with Jay a little bit about this, but it would be really helpful if we actually had somebody who would work on the website, not functionality, but in terms of like updating stuff, taking the documentation we create and putting it on the website, identifying new pieces of information that could go on the website, looking through all our photographs and say, these would be nice things to present and offer to the community. The person could also work on social media coordination, but we have another project in play about that we're waiting to see if it actually comes to fruition. We have lots of little projects that pop up, lots and lots and lots. And it would be really great if we had somebody who said, yep, I'll work on little projects over and over again to get to the point where we decide if it's a go or a no-go. And that kind of person would have to be, multi-skilled, multi-interested, and pretty darn creative. We had a volunteers programs coordinator for the past 2 semesters. She was an intern at the University of Pittsburgh. It is a sad thing that she had to graduate and go look for a job and things like that. But we know that volunteers programs and programming is an ongoing task. You can never stop managing it or coordinating it. And we're hoping to find somebody who will step into Chloe's shoes and take this project to the next level. We are in the process of creating a minority and women-owned business enterprise, post-incubator project. And that's for our building at 49 Southern. We already have a grant to do some repairs on it. We want to continue working on improving that property, finding funding to implement the program, creating the language agreements, and so on that are part of that project. One of the things that I'd like to do more is to go say hello to our businesses, but I just do not have the time to do it well. So we're thinking about maybe this is an opportunity for a representative to just go talk to the businesses one-on-one on a regular basis. This person would also be responsible to inform businesses about certain programs and projects that we are working on. For instance, right now we're working on a cigarette butt collector bin project. And I sent an email to most of the businesses on the Mount asking if they would like to participate in this project. That would have been a great project for a business district's ambassador to take on. Over the past year or two, we have had assistance regarding geographic information systems and built environment analysis. Unfortunately, our last built environment analyst has left to take a summer position somewhere else, and we're looking to fill that position. This includes helping to create our mapping project, which maps things like commercial properties, businesses, blighted homes, vacant lots, and things like that. In addition, this person would coordinate our built environment surveys. We just completed one for the Graceland micro neighborhood. We have 11 other micro neighborhoods that we would like to survey. As it turns out, I think there were 179 buildings in the Graceland micro neighborhood, and we had 5 volunteers who were actually conducting the surveys. Okay, so somebody, hold on. Jay, do we have a list of all our current staff, including volunteers, interns, and board members? Would like to know what boards we have. I think you mean committees and task forces, and what their umbrella of responsibilities are. How are these things overseen or reported? We'll talk about that hopefully after I'm done with these lists. There are properties throughout the neighborhoods that need some tender love, and these aren't properties that are generally managed by neighbors on the Mount. Some of them include ours. They include vacant lots, and we would consider seeing if we could set up somebody to be the leader of a lots or properties cleanup program. And we would probably work with neighbors on the Mount with this.
I can't.
We're looking for somebody to grab our curb appeal program and run with it in terms of developing it and doing all the research necessary to determine which types of sub-programs we can implement with limited resources. And we could use somebody who can help us with proposal writing, primarily with creating boilerplate language for different types of activities we perform or would like to perform, and our capabilities and our success stories and so on. If you saw, Jay, Here are some filled positions filled by volunteers. We have 2 demographic data research and analysis project participants, and they've been doing fascinating information, collecting demographic data from 1930 on, and we're in the process of trying to find common data points across the different decennial censuses. And they're also looking at the last 20 years of possibly annual data, and we hope to be doing analysis regarding that. We have a business districts coordinator who is working on our business identification project. This has been a long project to identify all the businesses in the MWCDC service area. And it's not as easy as it sounds. In addition, we're trying to locate all the home-based businesses. And clearly, that's never going to happen. But you can get data over time and improve your list. And at some point in time, we're going to turn this into a database where we'll have more information about the businesses than just their name, point of contact, and phone number. We have another business districts coordinator who's working on, and this is not the final title, tourism development. He's examining the types of things that can be done to manage tourism, improve it, and improve the tourist experience or the Grandview Avenue experience. So he's working on that, and he's working with a couple of the other people on this list while he's doing it. We have a graphic design and rebranding associate who is looking at creating art to support our outreach efforts and our volunteers programs and so on. And he's been very creative. He just graduated. I think he just got his graduate degree, and we're hoping that he really takes off during the summer. We have an outreach and marketing coordinator team, actually, and these folks are going to look at models that they have worked on in the past regarding neighborhood outreach or business outreach and marketing coordination. And they're going to suggest some ideas about what we can do to improve both of those. We have a volunteer who is helping to develop our Housing Summit project. And that is a rather complex project that involves trying to create like a trade show, a conference regarding what it takes to consider buying a home, owning a home, and selling a home. So I call that the life cycle of home ownership. And like I said, that's a complex project, and hopefully we will have the plan and the participants identified by this fall. We will see. And we have a public Wi-Fi project coordinator who is looking at the feasibility of implementing public Wi-Fi in areas throughout the Mount, possibly centering on bus stops, but we'll see because the project hasn't gotten that far. Now, those are our volunteers. And let's see, none of these are work study students right now, and none of them are interns. We might pick up a summer work study student, and we're going to find out later on. We anticipate that we are going to fill an events management or events planning manager position this week. Matt Colantonio is our research and outreach volunteer and research and outreach AmeriCorps volunteer and service to America. That is the VISTA program. It's the domestic equivalent of the Peace Corps. And he is working with us on 4 specific projects, and they include the business list, the commercial properties list, the housing summit, and focus group meetings for low and moderate income residents in our 3 CDBG eligible census tracts. Now, the board members are, I'd have to pull up the list, but you know that Perry Ninnis is our executive director. Sheen Segal is our vice president. Mary Causey is our treasurer. Bear with me. Ken Gianella is our secretary. Tom Ty is a board member and chairperson of the Development Committee. Gene Novak, oh, I've got to stop sharing. Okay. Jean Novak is a member of the board of directors, and she is the chairperson of the Emerald View Park and Sustainability Committee. Joe Ruiz is a board member, and he is a chairperson of the Party on the Mount Committee. And Bob Zilch is a board member, and he is the chairperson of the nominating committee. And I believe I have everybody at the moment. So now, oh, and I should say that Mary and Sheen are co-chairs of the advocacy committee. So that's a third committee. We currently have a task force on strategic plan development. I hope people will be attending our meetings a little better. And there may be an impromptu, not impromptu, but not formally scheduled strategic plan discussion at the May 19th board meeting. We'll see. Sorry, May 19th community forum. We have a advisory committee for the visitor center. And we're trying to create a task force for undergrounding utilities, and that's a work in project or a work in process. I think that's all our committees and organizations and task forces and so on. Jay, did that answer your question?
Yeah, do we have like a list of that though? Just so I can't write right now. My right hand's not working really well.
Just like anything, anybody can ask for this kind of information. I will send it out. We are once again working on our website. Staff did a functionality analysis and we just submitted it to the board for review. We have a technical consultant who has offered to provide assistance at no cost. We have to create an agreement before they begin, and hopefully that will resolve many of the issues, issues that we have with the website as it stands right now.
And the next meeting, is that possibly still, I messaged you today and you said that might be getting moved.
The meeting on the 17th, we got information just today from the Art Commission that they do not like the sequencing of the dam because they changed their processes. So we really can't have it on the 17th. And because of that, we are rescheduling it. And I hate this, I think it's a Monday for the 23rd. And I will
Monday the 23rd.
Let me see. Yeah, Monday the 23rd. I really don't like that, but that's what we are required to do. So that's what we're going to do. And I will send that announcement out today.
Okay.
So another thing about these volunteer positions, if anybody has an idea for a project that they'd like to work on with us, by all means, just suggest it. On the whole, we're more likely than not willing to do it. We like volunteers to grab projects so that I don't have to spend as much time on them. That's just a fact, folks. I've been in the office since like 7:30 this morning, and I keep on wondering of all the things that I have to do in any one day. So, questions? None? Okay, well, I probably should say we also have a Live Local program that examines many issues regarding what it's like to live in Mount Washington and Duquesne Heights, what people need, what people want, what they feel, and so on. And Leanne Wilson is our manager of that program right now. So I probably should have put that on my list. Now, one of the things, just so you know, the way we advertise for these positions in general is we post them on our website. I have posted all of these positions, well, not some of the newer ones, the older positions on our website. I have Facebooked them occasionally. I send them out on Handshake, which is a platform, a college and university platform for finding jobs and internships and work study positions and volunteer opportunities. I send all of these opportunities to all the local colleges and universities, their career services offices. And we don't have preferences, but we have been getting a lot of volunteers from University of Pittsburgh and CMU, the Heinz School. Most of our positions are remote. You don't have to come and see me. Zoom meetings for 3 people are very easy to do. Our live local meetings, at the most, we get 5 or 6 people. So the amount of in-person contact required is negligible. There are volunteer activities outside what I just said, like for instance, we'd love to have some people help us hand out the flyers, pardon me, for our focus group meetings. And that's going to be starting real soon. And we already have 5 volunteers, but we're handing out about 1,000 flyers this time around. And the more, the merrier. And volunteers get t-shirts if we still have your size, and maybe a couple other lovely gifts. So yes, that is kind of a bribe, but it's a good bribe. I don't have much else to say. So I think what we're going to do is wrap this meeting up. This is the fastest community forum dam we've ever had, as far as I know, except for possibly the candidates forum of 2020, which was pandemic limited. Okay, folks, I'm going to say take care. Thank you for participating this evening. I hope you learned some things. And as always, you can request things. You can send comments. I respond to all emails if you ask a question or request information. So you take care. Bye-bye.